All right. Welcome back, everybody. Steph, Javier, Matt, what's going on? Appreciate y'all being here. Let me know how the audio sounds. Whoops. There we go. Had the replay going. Yeah, let me know how the audio sounds. No. Yep. All right. Gonna have to do this. 1 second. Jake, John, Brian, Gregory. Appreciate you, everybody being here. We have some mail here to open up. There we go. Went to the post office today to ship out some book orders and picked up some mail while I was there. Sounding good. Awesome. It's going good. Going good. It's actually pretty exciting day, photography wise. I guess in the case of some unfortunate news, but I get to work on something that I've wanted to work on for a while. So I'll share more about that in just a minute. Pete, what's going on, man? Raphael, Stephanie, thank you. I appreciate that. D says it sounds crispy. Beautiful. I've got the barn door open right now, letting it breathe, letting some air get in here. It's crazy windy outside right now. It feels like it's going to storm, but the temperature dropped like dramatically. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to open up the barn for a little bit and let it breathe. I have an old like window AC unit that I think I'm going to try in this window right here soon. See how it goes. I used it in like my old apartment years ago in the window, an old upstairs apartment bedroom. It's not really made for a barn like this, but it's got to be better than nothing because it is burning up this week. That's amazing, Javier. Uh, Wednesday equals Matt. I appreciate that, Rob. Thanks for being here. Yeah, John, new Leica film. So that's pretty exciting. Leica has got a new film coming out. I got a like press release for it a couple of days ago. Just like a damn, it's crazy windy right now. I'm gonna put the barn door down, but oh hey, well there goes a tent. I'll be right back, everybody. 1 minute, maybe a couple, but I'll be right back. hold on. Why isn't it? See, now we're gone. Are you joking? DJI? What is that? Hey guys, using the new DJI Game Boy camera. I don't know if anybody has seen that yet. It's the new Game Boy Pocket. What are we doing here? Nope. Still? Alright. Well, while I get this sorted out, let's open up some mail. Oh, I tell you what. Let's get caught up on the chat here. Yeah, the new Leica film. No idea yet who is manufacturing it, but I'm excited. I asked if I could get my hands on some ahead of when it like officially becomes available so I can test it out and make a video. We'll see. I have no idea if that will happen or not, but let me see if I can get this camera going back to where it was. Hey, look. I'm back in using modern tech here. So, yeah, straight up. Javier, in this episode of Technical Difficulties by Day, you know, from the very beginning, if you go back and look at the very first live streams at the beginning of this year, it started with just one camera, I think, right? No books or anything, no second angle, and we've tinkered with it week by week. So that sound was a giant tent that we had. We had a yard sale just a couple of days ago, and we had everything that we had kept that was not sold that we're going to do on the following weekend, and that tent just tried to climb on top of the roof. So luckily, Molly happened to be walking out as I was going out there. So both of us got the tent taken down and carried everything into the garage. And now we're back, and I'll clean all that up later. So I appreciate y'all being here. Greg, Nova, Dan, Chris, what's going on? Let's open up some mail. I've got everybody's address facing away from the cameras. I'm not trying to dox anybody. But Carlos... We've got mail from Carlos here. So let's see what we got first. Oh, Rob. Says came in late and there was no stream. Got nervous. Don't worry. We're here. Alright. First off, a little print here with a note behind it. Read this here. Right on. So this is from Carlos Ayon. Says, this zine is sequenced to mimic the photo walks from my house to downtown and back. Says he's from East LA. So we've got Little by Little, a zine that he put out last year, he says. We'll take a look at that in a second. Hey, Josh Cheney back in Ohio time after his time in Japan. Josh, I hope to see you soon. Let's see. Oh, I missed one. Nova says, unfortunately, I feel like switching to developing myself would be more expensive because of supplies and chemicals and a nice scanner. Yeah, if you can get around with, I don't know. So it seems like it might be a lot at the beginning. Of course, now everything, the price of everything now, everything is so much more expensive. So I can't really say, but it feels like a daunting investment right off the start. But it pays off in the long run for sure. Hey, Carlos is in the chat right now. That's right, Carlos. We got your zine right here, little by little. I appreciate you sending this in. Just picked it up earlier today. Yes, it is absolutely storming over here, or it's about to. So, actually, that is one thing that I'll ask you guys. Being a tin roof on this barn, I'm wondering if I get like production blankets, similar to like moving blankets, but I have genuine production blankets, or at least I have one decent sized one. I've thought about hanging those above at least this half. Maybe that will help a little bit with stuff like this. I don't know. You all can let me know. Pete says it's actually relaxing. I mean, I personally don't mind it. I am just always, I'm always like, I don't know, worried that kind of stuff is taking away from the streams or the videos. You know what I mean? I don't know. I appreciate you all saying that, though. Zoom this out a little bit. Again, a quick shout out. Not that they're watching, but a thank you to Nikon for the Summer Loaner Z6 III and this 24-70 f4 that I've got on it right now. Perfect for streaming every week. If I can, I might add this to the kit alongside the Z8. I don't know. That's true. Just looking at the chat here. Yeah, the ambient noise isn't bad. The mic is still super clear. Matt says, I don't think your fan base are the type to complain about small things like that. That's a very good point. Like, the usual crowd. I wouldn't say fan base, because that feels weird. My friends here. My usual crowd. What's up, David? Or Daniel? It's like, that's very true. I've got a very good, pretty chill group of regulars. You know what I mean? Like my main audience, the way from the people that I hear from on a regular basis, both here in the chat, in the comments, DMs, that sort of thing. That's true. Corey asks, have you used the Z6 III for anything else aside from streaming? Heard the autofocus isn't as good as Canon or Sony. So far, I've used it for just like regular, like home video. You know what I mean? Like it's as the dad camera. I've had it for about a week, maybe 8 or 9 days now. So, I don't have a ton of experience with it just yet to say like definitively, but just from using it around the house, and for video use so far, I mean, it's probably not as good as the Sony when it comes to autofocus. I feel like Sony is just, they have that, you know, the absolute best when it comes to autofocus. But I will say that the files that I get out of a Nikon I like a lot more than the Sony files. I liked the Canon files when I had an EOS R for I don't know, it was back in like 2019, around then I think I was shooting with that one. And yeah, I always liked the Canon stuff, but the Sony stuff, I don't know. Not that the photos ever looked bad. I really liked the way photos looked. I guess when I'm using the Nikon, when I look at the back of the camera, I see photos that I like, and I'm not necessarily looking at it as like, oh, I can't wait to fix this photo and post. Little by little. Carlos, this is rad. I'm all about people just making something out of their routine. You know what I mean? Awesome to see, especially right now. Uh, Nothing but love to everyone in LA, especially right now. Um, it is coming down out there. Crazy. Now tell me how the audio sounds, because now I feel like I don't know if you guys can hear me well at all. I feel like I can't even hear myself. It's so loud. So we'll see how well this mic is. Daniel, I've made a book or zine or whatever you would call it, but only one so far. Daniel, I do have that one somewhere here. Very unique to LA. Oh my God. Crazy. Voice is still clear. Damn. Well, I'm glad you guys can hear it. If I start shouting, just let me know in the chat. Tell me to chill out, because I genuinely can't hear myself right now. It's so loud. Next mail. This is all right on. Seth Potter. Seth, I don't know if you're here. Seth is usually here in the live streams. We're gonna take a look at that one next. If you rotate the mic to point away from the ceiling, it'll reject a bit of the background. Is that the case with this one though? Because this microphone, well, now it's dying down. This microphone, they say what is that, omnidirectional? It's meant to, not like a traditional microphone where if you were interviewing someone, you would have to do this back and forth. They say you can just hold it and it picks up everything around it, but I'm not an audio head. I don't know enough about that. Rob says, when you lose power, that'll be the sign to call it a night. That's true. Don't count that out. That very well could happen. I suppose if I lose... Let me think. Would I lose power? Because we do have a backup generator for... Not for our entire home, but for my brother's side of the house. With him being a quadriplegic, the bed that he has is like not an air mattress like you'd get at the the camping section at Walmart, but it's a mattress made specifically for someone who can't reposition themselves to avoid pressure sores, things like that. So for when we lose power, his side of the house has a generator for his bed. I remember it was like within a year of his accident happening, I was like 14, and me, my best friend, who was practically lived with us, and my brother were the only ones at home. And oh, okay, this says non-functioning QR code that was blacked out, not available anymore. So this is Walk With Me, Seth Potter. But yeah, the first time that ever happened and he was in bed and the power went out, and it was like 30 seconds and his bed completely deflated, and he hollered for me and we had to get him up out of the bed, just laying on the box spring. This here says, this is the foreword by Stephanie Potter. It says, when Seth first picked up a camera, I had no idea that he would create the images we all see today. I gave him my old camera, and that camera changed everything. It was like he started a beautiful relationship with his camera. She went with him everywhere. I'm not joking. To the store, on walks, to class, to events. I thought maybe he might love her more than me. As a photographer myself, I was astounded by his enthusiasm and obsession. It's a feeling I wish I had when I picked up my camera. If that was what being a photographer was, I certainly wasn't. He loves every part of photography, from capturing the images and editing the images, and even the process and equipment to create them. Seth's interest started in photography as a child. He still has his little Pokemon camera, and it's the cutest. He didn't start his career in photography, though. He had other aspirations at the time. I watched him as his first career. Plans swirled around him, changing and slipping through his fingers out of his control. Perhaps it all happened because he belonged to photography. He declined to renew his military contract. Then he quit his part-time job at a local photo lab and enrolled in college. It was time to stop feeling like a number. It was time to be, well, to be. I hope you get as much joy out of the images on the following pages as Seth did creating them. Stephanie Potter, wife. That's very sweet to get that introduction here from Seth. Awesome. I don't know if you can still hear me as loud as it is. Yeah, no kidding, Rob. I agree. All right, let's take a look at these images here. Get that. Oops. Very nice. What's up, Alex? You guys can still hear me? Okay. Very good. It's picking up and dying down back and forth. Hissing sound? Yeah, sorry. If you're just now joining us, there is a crazy storm happening at the moment. So that's just the sound of rain on a tin roof above me. A lot of rain. That's a good one there. Got a lot of variety in terms of, I feel like not only subject matter, but kind of style as well. I like this one here a lot. The color in this one's really good. Seth Potter from Pittsburgh, Kansas. I didn't know there was a Pittsburgh, Kansas. Okay, so this was made with Blurb. That was how I made my very first book. I don't know if this style of book was possible when I made my book with Blurb. It's nice. Hell yeah, Seth. That's rad. Got it on the spine there and everything. Yeah. I don't think you could make anything like this on Blurb whenever I first made mine. That was awesome, Seth. I dig that this could be from 1990 or last week, apart from the odd car that timestamps it as current. Oh yeah, absolutely. Got one more here. Another piece of mail that we'll open up. Appreciate you sending that in, Seth. He says use their free software to design it. Oh yeah. Book Bookright. Is that what it's called? Bookright, or they might have changed the name of it. It's been so long, but it was something like that. That was what I used as well, because at that point I was like, I've never used InDesign, or there was an app. I can't remember what app it was. It's in the video. I could watch the video that's on my channel. I used an iPad app to design my social distancing zine, and I can't remember the name of it, but I actually liked the process of that, like working on the iPad and working with, like, not physically with my hands, but interacting with it that way. It made sense for my brain, if that, I don't know. Christopher Smith, Somewhere Between Love and Death. That's what we're going to take a look at next. Oh, that's sick. Rad. Is Christopher Smith with us in the chat? I don't know if he is or not, but we're going to take a look at this in a minute. Lost access to InDesign. Yeah, I am not currently on a plan with Adobe. At least I don't think so, that I have access to it anymore. I'm done. Well, I'm not done because I'm still paying for Lightroom, but I used to pay for the whole Creative Cloud. Now I just pay for Lightroom, and every day I'm like wanting something different to work with. I found, I don't know, I still like using Negative Lab Pro for film scans, and I like the organization aspect of Lightroom in terms of like catalogs, and I've done it for I've used it for so long that I don't have to think about it, but I'm really tired of paying a subscription, a really expensive subscription every month for something like that. Sorry, reading this froze again. Well, it's time to look at this anyway. Get this fixed. Someone get DJI on the phone, okay? Someone just go ahead and get a hold of corporate. Tell them to join us in the chat. I got questions. I've never had a camera freeze up on OBS so much as this Osmo Pocket 3. So, yeah, if anyone gets DJI on the horn, let me know. Tell them to have something on my desk on Monday. This is Somewhere Between Love and Death by Christopher Smith. He sent this in, says, made this in, or well, okay. It says, my dad passed away in 2019, and this was in part dedicated to him. Yeah. Images were shot on various 35mm cameras and films over a number of years, but on top of the letter, check out the old throwback Nikon sticker. Not sticker, looks like he cut it out of like an ad. That's rad. As well as this right here. So it looks like he does some collage art as well. Love that. Anyone try Smart Convert from Filmomat? What one did I try? I don't think it was that one. It's like, I think it was called Filmbox. Yeah, Alex, that's a good tip. It says, for all the Adobe users, when I renew my subscription, I go all the way through to canceling it, and right before you hit the button, they offer you 40% off. Isn't that just a perfect representation of the state of things? All you got to do is be like, hey, I'm done. And they're like, well, what if we just gave it to you for almost half? And you're like, you could do that this whole time? Ooh. right off the bat. I like this. Hey, thanks for hanging, Chris. Take care, man. The gray background is an interesting choice here, but I like it. I don't know. I don't know why just yet. Especially with color. I feel like with color, I mean, in a way, I, I don't know. Someone who knows more about color theory can chime in, but I guess, in theory, you would think it would make the color stand out more, being more vibrant, but I don't know. But it doesn't to me. Like, I don't think the color stands out anymore or looks any more vibrant, I guess, but at Darkroom Dream on Instagram. Hell yeah. That's rad. Christopher Smith, if you happen to see that, whether it be right now or on the replay, I appreciate you sending that in. Oh, one sec. Oh, we're good. Thought we had more issues to solve out there, but I think we're good. Now it's thundering, so we'll see. Not to be a broken record, but the gray feels super 90s in a good way. I do feel that. Actually, that reminds me. Where here it is. We've taken a look at this magazine together on the channel countless times, and a new issue just arrived. Actually, I think it arrived, yeah, like over a week ago, but I forgot to grab it for last week's stream. I forgot to pull it out. This is a new issue of Closer, favorite skate magazine. The photos are always amazing. It's printed on this like really nice, like thick matte finish kind of material, perfect bound. They're just awesome magazines. But the photography is always super good in this magazine. Yes, Brian, Jason Lee does have a new book out. So Jason has a special edition of, one sec. Here we go. This one right here. So this is a plain view. Jason has a new like special edition basically of this book. I think it's a hardcover, if I remember right, of this book coming out. So this one, I'm trying to think when this came out. I mean, 2016, 17, 18, it was somewhere around then, I think. It's a good one. It's a big one. But, yeah, a plain view. Take a look at that here in a minute. This is Closer. Hey, speaking of, That was not planned. That's hilarious. That's an old photo of Jason Lee from 1990 right there. Amazing. Ed Templeton in this one right here. Super good. Another rad thing about Closer, they've always got these little prints. Sometimes it's like various art prints from collaborating artists depending on the issue. Really rad. Yeah, Dan, Omaha Sketchbook. That's a good call. A lot like that one. That's one that I don't have, but I saw, I think they're doing a reprinting of that one, or maybe they already have. I can't remember. Okay, that's a new Polar ad. Sick. Here we go. Some super old contact sheets from back in the day. Georgia Martin, she's on the cover, and that's the second ad of hers I've seen in the magazine so far. Killing it. Rob, take care of that one. Thanks for hanging. See you next week. Okay, yeah, Dan. That's what I was. I was like, I feel like they updated something. That makes sense. I need to pick that one up at some point. That one's always on my list. Alex, Matt, did you ever see Mike O'Malley's photo skate zine from 2014 or so that was printed on newspaper print? I unfortunately have not, but I love Mike O'Malley's work. So I would have loved to have seen that one. Alex also said, does anyone know where to make newspaper print zines? I really love the thin paper textures. To be honest, I don't know specifically where to go for that, or like what, printing place offers that, but I do love seeing things that are printed that way. Let me grab a reference here. So this is huge. This is like a big newspaper print from Alex Soth and Brad Zeller. It was like a collaborative kind of series that they did, and this one, Ohio. As a matter of fact, I don't know if we have ever looked at it here on stream, but there's a photo in here from Chillicothe, Ohio, that Alex Soth shot in. I'm trying to think of what time frame this was made. 2010, maybe. I can't remember. I'll find it here. Jalen reporting live from Jackson. How long you gonna be home, Jalen? You gotta get out here. I can't find that one photo. There it is. This one right here. So the cover of Social Distancing, if you have that zine of mine, was shot right here, just facing that way, going up that way towards that bridge. Really rad photo though. Love that one. But everything here is all printed. It's all loose like this, and all printed on newsprint. Jalen, how about this lightning storm? Is it storming much over there? It sounds like it's calmed down out here. Vinny, what's going on? Says, just joined in. Love to see we're on some skate photos. Yeah, we're looking at latest issue of Closer. Favorite skate magazine. Always got amazing photos. That's wild. That's sick. Getting the photo from inside the glass there. It's awesome. Okay, there we go. We got a full interview with Georgia Martin. Sick. Newspaper Club. They print zines. I've never heard of them, John. I'll have to look into that. As a matter of fact, I didn't even. Okay, I gotta tell you guys about this because I mentioned it at the start and then we started looking. Probably the storm, having to go run and grab that tent. That probably sidetracked me. We were actually talking about that. What app and iPad did you use to make zines or photo books? We were talking about that earlier. I can't remember what app I used. If you look up like Matt Day social distancing on YouTube, you should see the video. I made a video like going through the whole process and I made it on my iPad, but I can't for the life of me remember what that app was called. But I've got news on Jalen. I head out of town tomorrow. Well, ain't that a bitch. Newspaper Club is how I printed those big newsprint. The nuclear family posters forever ago. Hell yeah. Well, good looking out. So what made me think of that, finding a place that would print stuff, someone locally reached out, someone who does like design work and some printing. I don't know what all kind of printing, like what all they offer, but I'm going to meet with them soon to talk about it. Because a couple of years ago, I mentioned how I finally got inside the paper mill. 1 second, let me fix this. Okay. Oh my god. There we go. Maybe. What if I just do that? Matt, are you going to shoot the Leica Pan 50? I am, yes. I just don't know when. I mentioned it earlier at the top of the stream. I got sent a press release about the film a few days ago, but I asked if I could get some for before the film is officially out so I can test it out and tell people what to expect, basically. So we'll see if that happens, hopefully. But the Chillicothe paper mill, everyone knows the smokestack in Chillicothe. The paper mill announced that they were going to be closing later this year. They announced it at the beginning of the year, and at first it was like closing in 60 days. Then it was, no, we're going to stay open through the end of the year, and then we're going to close. And now it's like they're going to start shutting machines down next week. Not everything is going to be shut down next week. It's going to take, it's a process, but like it's happening now. And a couple of years ago, I got in for the first time, and just like one machine that they were working on that they were restoring, I got to go in and take photos of that, and it was amazing. I made a whole video about it. That's on the channel. You can see that. And I've really wanted to get back in there since then, but that was the first time after trying for years to get in there. That was the first time I was ever allowed in, and I thought there's no chance of getting back in. So yeah, yesterday morning, it happened that fast. I was thinking it was a few days ago. It was yesterday morning. I just kind of like threw a Hail Mary. I got on Facebook and added the photos that I shot a couple of years ago and just said, like, help me get inside the paper mill. And just told people, like, if you work there, if you know people that work there, like, tag them. Help me figure out a way to just get in there and make some photos before everything shuts down and it's just gone. Because it's such a massive, like, I've never worked there, but several of my friends work there my entire life. There's always been someone in my, like, vicinity that works there, you know? Like, that's how it is for everyone here. Yeah, Matt, man, will that be kind of devastating for the community there? It will be, for sure. There are other, like, job offerings around here, but not for that many people all at once. Kenworth, semi truck manufacturer, that's here in Chillicothe, just right down the road, and they also employ a lot of our area, but they're not hiring anybody right now. It's tough. I genuinely, like, I don't know what a lot of people, some people will be fine. There will be, you know, other opportunities in other places given their position, I guess, but it's tough. And for a lot of people, this is like where they've given their entire lives. And so the whole goal is to get in there and just be a fly on the wall for what time is left, you know? And luckily, everyone, like the local community, the people at least just who saw the post, I had a bunch of people sharing it. Someone saw it, shared it with their manager, and then the manager was like, put together a formal proposal, you know, like, let me know what it is, what all you're trying to do, and then we'll take a look at it. And so yesterday I just put together a Milanote board of, like, here's what I want to do, here's some information about me and what I do. Because they were like, is anyone, like, representing you, or are you with some organization? I'm like, no, I'm just a guy. I just live here and I just want to do this, you know? And even the two people that I talked to who took that to, like, the next level up to get clearance, they even said, they were like, this is highly unlikely because they're being very closed off and guarded right now in the midst of everything. And I got a call today that they somehow got the green light for me, so I do have access to get back in there, and it's just gonna be me by myself. Like, they're allowing me in there. I can't, like, you know, it's not a production. I can't bring people with me. It's like, you're allowed to come in, and one of us has to be with you the entire time. Like, I need a escort, a chaperone the whole time to, like, take me around the plant and make sure, you know, someone is there knowing exactly what I'm doing and what I'm taking photos of. But I was just, like, as honest as I could with them, and I was like, I want to make something that's, like, ideally I want to make photos and make enough photos and make good enough photos to make a book, and more than anything to have something for the people there, like, to be able to just give them the photos, anyone there working in the photos, anything that will feel like the people who gave their life to that place can, like, have some kind of physical representation, and, like, something that hopefully gets the feel of it, you know what I mean? It's like one of those things that I wasn't planning on asking them to do, and then when I did, I was like, they're gonna say no, but I have to at least ask. And then they said yes, and I'm in shock still. And then I'm like, what else have I just not asked? What else should I have asked that I've just been like waiting for permission for. You know what I mean? Like I've been waiting for someone to ask me to do this. Like no one's going to do that. You have to, you know, do it yourself. You've got to make that happen. And so that's been a big like light bulb moment of like, cool. Now I'm going to write down a list of every person that I want to contact about this idea that I have, because all I need is someone to say yes. So I don't know. I don't know. It's super exciting. I don't know yet if this is like, hey, you're going to come in on this day and we're going to show you around and like, this is your one tour, so make it count. Or if they're going to be like, yeah, you can come in and like frequently over the next however many days we have left, you can come in here and you can spend time, you know, because that's what I want. That's what I'm going to push for, is like, I don't want to just come in and do one walkthrough and then like, all right, here are the photos. If that's all I get, then that's all I get. But that's not, I want to spend time there. I don't know. It's tough because I'm going to have a chaperone with me. So I can't just like tell them like, hey, we're chilling right now. This spot and these people specifically, I need to spend time with these people because I need more. I feel like I'm going to be on their schedule because they're going to be with me. I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know what the plan is going to be yet, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited that I'm actually like able to do that, because again, I thought this was for sure going to be a no, but thankfully everyone that like saw the post and everyone that I spoke to from the mill, like they get it. They understand what I'm trying to do, and like they see value in it. That was the other thing, was the amount of people who were like, this is great. This is awesome. Because in my head, any idea, no matter what it is, it's like people are going to look at that and be like, that's dumb. You know, that's just me in my own head. Rob, would you ever create a Substack account? Remind me again what Substack is. That's like the essentially like not a blog, but is that the right thing that I'm thinking of? If so, what? I mean, I would, but what would I put there? Not saying that rhetorically, as if like, what would I do there? But genuinely asking, as someone who uses it, if you're using Substack, it's like a newsletter. Substack is like a Patreon-esque blog. Yeah. So if you do use Substack, what would you expect me to post there? I'm genuinely curious, because I have no idea. I'll be right back. Spit my gum out. Didn't realize I had gum in. I apologize. That's a no. Look at photographer Roger May. Roger May sounds very familiar. That might be someone I'm already following. That name sounds super familiar. I highlight the different things I'm doing in one spot. I haven't sent out a newsletter, an email newsletter, in a while. I really try not to unless I have something specific that I need to say. And I should send out... I don't even post on Instagram when new videos come out that often anymore. It's just one of those things that, like, there's only so much time in the day, only so much attention I have, I should say, with everything else going on. And I'm constantly like, I know I should be posting, telling people when new videos go live. I should send out an email like weekly, or at least just monthly. I was doing it monthly for a while, and even then I was like, are people, I don't know, do people enjoy this? So I don't know. But a Substack, if I can I think what I like so much about these live streams is it's this informal, and it's like, it's so much more like hanging out, and I update everyone this way. But I know that's not effective from a management, growth, analytical sense. I am sure I'm not doing things correctly, but it's hard to. I don't know. I don't need to go on a big. I don't need to sit here and vent about social media to you guys. Matt, I appreciate you hanging. Thanks for being here. But I really like the live streams because I get to just hang out this way, and it's not trying to like fit things into a formula. Does that make sense? Chat, what do we recommend for a mostly manual film camera under 250 USD? 35 or 120? So 35 or 120 millimeters. So 35 millimeter, 120, it's just 120, not 120 millimeter. Just so you know for future reference, D. What do we recommend, though, for mostly manual under $250? Pentax K1000 and a 50 millimeter lens. Done. There will be other options for sure, but right off the bat, under 250, K1000 and a 50 millimeter 1.8 or f2. Was it an f2? It was probably an f2, I think. Regardless, you can't go wrong with a K1000. And that one you've got a light meter, but it's also a fully mechanical camera, meaning if the battery dies, then you're good to go. You can still shoot with it at all shutter speeds. Had one of those in college, also looking at an AE1 with a 50. AE1 is also a solid option. Pete, I think, yeah, FG, a Nikon FG. Javier Seminolta, Josh also said the K1000. Yeah, truthfully, like most, not all, because some of the 35 millimeter cameras, the battery not only powered the light meter, but it also just powered the camera on, and it powered the shutter, or it controlled the shutter. So some cameras, if the battery dies, you're going to be limited to either the camera not working at all, or you're going to be limited to the shutter speeds. So that's why I think it's worth going for something that you know is fully mechanical. I believe the AE1 is not the AE1 program, but just the standard AE1, if I remember right. I've never owned one myself, but a friend had one. But yeah, FE2, John says love my FE2, but more than that. Yeah, I can't remember what those are priced these days, but Molly had an FE, I think it was, years ago, and she really liked it. That was like a decade ago. Olympus OM1, that's another. Those cameras are super small. I've never owned one, but that was one that the first time I got to hold one, I didn't realize how compact that camera was. Ton of cameras that never got clout and are still under 100. Oh yeah, that's the thing. They're all the same, aside from like the differences that, like, you know, what I mentioned earlier. Not having the camera functional if the battery dies. Things like that matter, but like they're all just boxes that are letting in light. So what film you put in it and what glass you put in front of it, like that's going to be your main factor here. But some of the features, or, you know, things like that, you'll notice a difference going from camera to camera. Yeah, Racer, we got a storm brewing outside. That's what you're hearing. Loved hearing about Ray Barbie talking about his K1000. Get the needle in the hole, photo turns out good. Exactly, that's the simplicity of the K1000. I'm pretty sure it's still on the channel. I've got a video on the channel all about the K1000 being perfect for beginners, and it's like I started with a Minolta XGM where it had all the shutter speeds listed out on the right side of the viewfinder and a little LED indicator that would go up and down that entire list of shutter speeds, and that would, you know, as I would adjust the aperture, it would move and tell me what shutter speed to get to. And so it was constantly this, like, you know, pulling the camera up and checking and back and forth. Especially as, again, a beginner, didn't have a photography class, didn't know anything about it, and it was just overwhelming. Whereas if I started with a K1000 and I just knew level that meter out and get it, or level that needle out in the meter, once you've got that, you're good to go. So it's like not having to worry about everything else, being overwhelmed with all the numbers. For a beginner, I feel like that's clutch. Let's see. Oh, would love an FM2N, but those are creeping up in price now. Yeah, the FM2s are awesome. I'm finishing up a video on a day where I went out shooting that I started with my M6 and very quickly switched over to my FM2 and shot the rest of the day with the FM2 and the 35. It's just perfect. Like, that camera is, or that lens is really the only one I find myself using much on my FM2. I have been using the Z6 III, like I mentioned earlier. I've been using it for a lot of video. I have been using it for photo as well, and the 24-70 f4 lens. It's crazy compact, and I want to try and do like a 30-day challenge while I have this camera on loan. Just 30 days and only use that one lens, the 24-70 f4, because I've always preferred using primes, and with an f4 I can't really rely on shallow depth of field as a crutch, which is a good thing. So it's such a small compact lens that it's like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I wish I didn't care about any other camera because of how small and lightweight that camera is. I love my Z8, but it's a tank. Which lens was your favorite? Oh yeah, the 35 f2 AIS. Yeah, that lens has been really the main lens, like f-mount lens, that I've used over the years for the film lenses. I've owned a bunch of different ones, and the 35 1.4, 35 1.8, I think. The 50 1.2, that's a beautiful lens. But the 35 f2 is just, yeah, I don't know. It's perfect. For me, at least, for the kind of stuff I like to shoot. Focus is nice and close. Yeah, Jim says the 24-70 f4S is one of the sharpest and focus is close as well. Crazy close. I'm going to take it here. Let me just do it this way. Briefly. That's a 24-70 right there. That in my hand is a 24-70 for a full frame camera. That's pretty wild. When the lens is being stored, when it's not in use, this is what it's like. You can see right up there at the front, 24 doesn't start until over here, so to use the lens, it extends out to right there. So that's at 24, that's at 70. So even at full extension, pause, that's how compact that lens is. So it's little things like that make a big difference when it comes to like whether or not I'm actually going to take a camera with me and use it regularly. You know what I mean? And that camera I have been, and I've been taking a lot more photos with it than I expected to. So I was talking to actually Chris Tellez, who was here in the chat earlier. He's looking to pick up a Nikon Z8 and he has a Z6 III. I have a Z8, and I'm considering adding a Z6 III to the kit, hopefully at the end of summer when this loan is over. I asked Nikon, I was like, if I do plan on purchasing it, can I just buy it directly from you guys rather than ship it back and get another new one? Because I've already started like setting up, customizing everything. And they were like, yeah, that's fine. Just let us know and we'll connect you to the people. So I might buy it. We'll see. For everything it does, it would be a good, useful camera in the kit. But regardless, Chris and we were talking about it earlier. The cameras that the Z8, as much as I love it, and I love the size of it, it's a bigger, more comfortable camera. But that's the same reason that I don't bring it out as much. So it's kind of a paradox there from being too picky. Have you worked with motion picture cameras, and have you ever thought to make short films with them? That's a great question. I actually just got some Super 8 filmed, developed, and scanned about a month ago, and it's film from 2017. So my children were just teeny tiny little babies, and it's crazy. I'm gonna throw that in probably a vlog or something here on the channel so people can see it. It was a roll of Tri-X that I shot, Super 8. So I've only shot Super 8. I haven't shot any like 16 millimeters, Super 16, anything like that. Aside from like cassettes, like High 8 and Mini DV, that kind of stuff. The only video like analog would be Super 8. So, which after getting that scanned, processed and scanned, I was like, I want to shoot more of this because it looked a lot better. I think just because Super 8 is Super 8, I don't give it much thought because of the price. Not that like it's bad, but I just think if I'm gonna spend that much, is Super 8 really worth it? But then I got the scans and I was like, actually, yeah, it is worth it. So I want to do that more often, but I still have like 2 or 3 more cartridges from years ago that I haven't developed yet. So it'll probably be a while. But yeah, I'll throw that in a vlog for sure. Oh, nice. John says my son's been shooting my old Nikon 70 to 210 on my D70. That's amazing. The 70 to 210, I think I know exactly. I can like picture that lens. That's an old one. My D60, my son uses from time to time. Here's one. Sorry to keep talking gear, but you had a choice between the Voigtlander 40 f2 Ultron F mount or the Nikkor 35 you have. I would probably get the Nikon lens, but I've never owned the Voigtlander 40. I'm pretty sure Trev Lee, a good friend of mine, I think he has the Voigtlander 40. I know he has several Voigtlander F-mount lenses, and he loves them. I love Voigtlander lenses. I've got a 50 Nocton on my M6 right now. But I've never used that one, and I'd probably stick with that 35 because I know I can focus super close with it, and it's not that expensive. Or I guess in comparison maybe to the Voigtlander. I would assume the Voigtlander's more. Yeah, I'd go with the Nikon lens, Vinny. Says Trev Lee is exactly who I was thinking of when I asked. Trev says he wants me to shave all my hair off so we can look like twins again. Because I was thinking about buzzing my head. It's getting hot in Ohio. And there's a lot of hair back here. I wanna get it thinned out or something, because right now it feels like I got a coonskin cap on top of my head, and I'm burning up. The Voigtlander 40 is stuck on my FM2. I haven't taken it off in a long time. See, that's how the 35 feels for me. It's one of those where I'm like, I've got no need to swap it out. Vince, is that what the barn looks like now? This right here? This is the barn. We're out here. It still needs so much work. So much work. We made progress. We had another yard sale, I mentioned earlier, this past weekend. Cleared out a little bit more space. But I have been dreading taking apart all of these shelves in order to finish insulating that wall. First, I was dreading it. Then it was just like I just simply don't have the time to. Right now, at least, summer is in full effect, so it's crazy. Uh, but yeah, the barn. I want to do a full like proper barn tour, but it's it needs work. Um, Hopefully, it doesn't feel like you're inside an oven. Right now, I've got a small. Actually, it was kind of pointed straight up, so that would make sense. Yeah, that feels a lot better. I've got a little fan here that runs off my mower batteries. Little Ego misting fan. It's got a little hose on it. You can set it in a gallon of water, bucket of water, and it'll mist. Kids absolutely love it. But this thing, I wheel it around in the barn here, and it keeps me cool at the moment. I mentioned earlier I've got a little old window AC unit from my old apartment, and I'm gonna try and hook that up back here in this window. Maybe by next week's stream, we'll have that going. But I'm afraid of the sound. Right now, this fan is going. I mean, with all the storm, everyone said that was fine. So I know last week everyone said, "What fan?" No one could hear it. So I'm happy with this, but that's the big issue. I want to make sure the sound isn't terrible if I have an AC unit out here. But I want to get a mini split installed. I was planning on doing that this summer, and here we are, and it hasn't happened because life happened instead. So we'll figure it out. Saving a bit of cash on the Nikon glass, but Trevly definitely bashes out some gold on the Voigtlander almost every time. He swears by the Voigtlander lenses. That's why I knew. I think he has the 40 f2, but every time I'm with him, we talk about those lenses, or just the Voigtlander f-mount lenses in general, because they also make Voigtlander lenses in Z-mount, so like native Z-mount lenses that are fully manual, just like that. And I think if I tried one of those lenses on the ZF, and if the ZF had a grip attached to it, that might be like just spot on. I don't know. I want to try that combo out at some point. Let me find my bag here. There it is. Alex. So this is the Nocton. Here, let me turn my other camera back on. So I have the Nocton 50. This is the f1.5 Nocton version 2. Normally it doesn't have the little focus tab. The guy I bought it off of had already stuck this on there. It's a little adhesive mount, 7 Artisans focus tab that's just got a little adhesive on the back of it, and just stuck it on there, and it's perfect. So I've had this lens for about 1.5 years now, almost 2 years. Really nice 50 millimeter. So that's that one. I don't have a lens for I don't have a 35 millimeter lens. Actually, wait a minute. I was wrong. I do have this that I got back from a friend recently. This was like a prototype, I think. Yeah. So many years ago, I want to say 2019. probably 2019. Seven Artisans sent me this 35 millimeter f1.4. Maybe it was 2020. Regardless, they sent this to me years ago. I had a 35 millimeter lens already at that point, and so I gave this lens to one of my good friends who had just bought an M6 and didn't have a lens for it yet, was saving up for it. So I gave it to him to use and completely forgot about it, and he just gave it back to me a couple of weeks ago. So I forgot I do have this. I couldn't even tell you how it performs. It's been so long. But I do have that. It's a kind of big, not a massive lens, obviously, but for a 35 millimeter M-mount lens, you know, let's just put it on the M6. I don't know why I don't have to tease you like that. I can just throw the lens on there. Yeah, it's a pretty big, that's a honker, in my opinion. If we're talking 35 millimeter lens on an M6, that's an absolute unit. Some people might not mind. I'm picky. If I'm gonna have an everyday lens like a 35 millimeter, something that's gonna be on my camera glued to it, it's gonna need to be smaller than that. So, yeah, Seven Artisans f1.4 though. Might not be a bad lens to keep in the bag, specifically for adapting to like one of the Z cameras, maybe for video or photo, if I'm, you know, feeling so inclined. But I don't know. Seth, you're probably already gone. I just now seeing that. Thanks for hanging. And thanks for sending in the book. But yeah, I'm probably going to wrap this stream up. I'm going to finish up an edit on another video after this, and then probably get inside. But thank you all for hanging with me tonight. Appreciate y'all being here. Hold on. Days Past says, have you seen the new 35? Oh, yes. Voigtlander 35 f3.5 color scope R. Got one on order. It's apparently the smallest one. That's amazing. I saw they updated. I'm thinking of a different one. There was another one they updated. Maybe I'm thinking of a different one. I feel like they've updated a few of their versions or a few of their lenses recently. But I used to have the color scope R, and it was a great lens. So, but yeah, appreciate y'all. Steph, Pete, Nate, Greg, Tim, love you, dude. Always appreciate you guys hanging here with me. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your week. If you have any questions, things you want to talk about, or things you want to send in for stream, I should mention that. P.O. Box 2006, if you're interested and want to send some stuff in that we took a look at together like we did at the beginning of the stream. But yeah, that's it for tonight. Appreciate y'all being here. Hope you all have a great week. And yeah, I'll see you next week.